Welcome to Opalesque TV. Today we have our very own Greg Troccoli, our Director of Technical Research, who produces his weekly technical research briefing. Now, Greg, can you tell us what led you to Opalesque and a little bit about your history?
Greg, I've been conducting research technically on the market since 1983. I've followed price action in all sectors of the globe and all various asset classes. For 10 years, I was the Chief Technical Analyst at Prudential Securities. During that time, my following was 3,500 institutions globally, including 8 central banks and thousands of financial advisors through various regions of the world. What made my work so acceptably read was the fact that it was very on point. You could take my document and have a clear overview of the global markets within a 5 to 10 minute read. My trade recommendations throughout the years have been very consistent and very on point. What I brought to Opalesque when I met Matthias back in 2006 was the ability for the clients of Opalesque to have this type of research, professional research, and utilize this to gauge what the markets are doing on a weekly basis.
So tell me how you developed the technical research briefing and the value that it provides for your subscribers.
Greg, I think that's the most exciting part. I think what the value proposition is that we bring to the clients of Opalesque is giving them a complete global overview of the most pertinent markets within a 5-minute read. The work that I put forth on each of the markets is direct. We give trade recommendations. They'll have a complete mental picture of the markets if they read it week in and week out. They'll know exactly where the markets are. They'll know the history of the markets. And we're very clear in our forecasts as to where we think the markets are going.
So which markets do you actually cover in your technical research briefing?
The coverage involved in that 3-page document is very pointed. We cover the S&P 500, the U.S. 10-year Treasury note, crude oil, gold, currency markets, various commodity markets, the Hang Seng, and the NASDAQ. And now, with our service, we're going to expand upon that as we're going to add in the Euro Stoxx 50 and maybe advance more on the grain markets and some of the other commodity markets.
Greg, I've been following your technical research briefing for years, but can you give us some insight as to how you structure your recommendations and your forecasting technique?
The most important thing about my recommendations is my entry and exit points, and I put a lot of work into finding very acute inflection points in the market. So when I do put a trade recommendation out, I'm able to keep the risk very tight and let the profits sort of run, and I lower my risk parameters accordingly. I only need to have 2 out of 10 trades be successful on average to actually have a positive P&L. And the readers that have been with me for many years are aware of that, and I hope the new readers will see the success in that as well. The way I approach the markets also is, my methodology is across all markets. I had to keep it very simple because when you have too many signals going at once, they sort of can cancel out each other. You have to have the type of methodology that translates into markets across global sectors. And I've done that. I use very simple moving average lines. I use my technique in watching these markets for many years and trading these markets for many years. I set parameters accordingly. I know the personalities of each of these markets. I know how they trade. I've transacted in each of these markets for many years. I represented some of the largest hedge funds globally and transacted in just about every pit you can imagine globally. I did that in my younger days before I was an official technical analyst, research analyst. So my recommendations are based on that. I look for specific points, inflection points in the market, and when I find a trade, I'm able to use strict money management techniques.
So tell me about the delivery of the technical research briefing and the value it provides to our subscribers.
We try and accomplish is to have the TRB delivered Sunday afternoon, Sunday early evening Eastern Standard Time, so we're ready for the Asian markets. The Asian readers that are coming on board are now set to have my document for the week ahead, and they understand our forecasts and our trade recommendations. That translates obviously into the European markets and then into the U.S. markets as we open up Monday morning. As we mentioned earlier, I'm giving a complete global overview of the markets, and then on a quarterly basis also we look at a longer term forecast as well for our clients. So they have a nice combination of a shorter term view week to week and also a longer term view of a document that we put out quarterly. Greg, the true value proposition of the technical research briefing is the most important aspect of it, is what I try and bring to our client base, and that is seeking out 10 to 15 theme trades during the year. And let me give you an example of what I mean. In October, We sold the S&P at 2073 before the 10% correction to the downside. That is a tremendous trade in a very short period of time, and that's an example of what I try and look for in the marketplace and the markets we cover on a week-to-week, month-to-month basis.